here in Paris. You did a show. How did it go?
It was hot,
Yeah?
lack of oxygen,
Yeah?
but we was still rocking it. It was cool, a lot of people, good energy. You know, they was jumping, we was jumping, and it was fun. It was dancing, sweaty. Yep.
Good. Do you think there's a gap between French and American people? Like, do they understand what you're saying?
Hell yeah.
Yeah?
Music is universal. It translates real good. You don't have to know the words, but you know the energy and the vibe that's being conveyed. So we get up there, they kind of know the words, but they know enough to follow along when we saying the words. They don't have to do the concert. We doing the concert. They just be like, oh, okay, I know this part. So it's dope.
I think you have to say things slower. Cause like it's like even when we go to Japan or something like that, like you can't speak really fast. You have to speak like slower, because if we talk like we're talking back home, then people be like, huh?
Especially us, cause they can't really understand us. Like Americans don't understand us, right? So when we come over here, it's like we have to over enunciate.
Yeah.
Pronounce the words.
Okay, perfect. So Farside, how old are you?
Huh?
How old are you guys?
You never asked a ghost his age. I'm timeless. I'm timeless.
I'm old as a mountain.
Yeah. Many moons.
So I know you have a TV. Can you talk about your TV, Farside TV?
Bust it out.
Yeah.
So we have Farside TV. It's basically like online radio stuff. So he does a show called Splendid Radio. And then we have another one called True Seekers. And so basically it's like a streaming radio that we do once a week when we're back home. We're trying to keep it once a week. But it's like a marketing outlet platform that, you know, we just want to create just to try to bring some new stuff, make things exciting again.
And it's live. When we're doing it, we go live, but then you can catch the shows on Mixcloud. We have a situation going on where all the shows are up on Mixcloud. So if you miss the live one, you can hit the Mixcloud, Farside Mixcloud.
Okay, perfect. Nice. Also, I know that you have a boutique in LA with your shop. You have a clothing shop.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the concept of the shop? Because do we buy only Farside stuff, or is it a mix? Or
Nah, man. It's not just Farside stuff. It's really for the women, man.
okay.
Like the dudes got the Farside vibe. Like it's like, what can we do for the women? So Lisa is that's his significant other, and she's in there and she's holding it down and she's making it happen.
Yeah, so we just kind of like have, we want to just keep basically that area where we're at. They really don't have like kind of up-to-date kind of stuff, so you kind of have to go to like the city. You gotta go to LA, or you have to travel outside the city. So want to have something that was in that part of town that people could just like go to their neighborhood and like get some fresh gear.
It's records in there.
Yeah, it's like an everything
Sunglasses, earrings, headphones. It's check it out.
So it's more like basically promoting more of a lifestyle thing, not like a look. So like if you go into, you have Urban Outfitters out here.
Yeah, no, we don't have it.
So
No.
Urban Outfitters, like they sell like records and they sell like candles and body oils, and,
Skateboards.
yeah, just different stuff, So like it's not a lot of stuff, but it's just like certain little things that if you're like, oh yeah, I like that, I like this, what I'm saying, so.
I mean, that's probably why it wouldn't be good to call it the Farside store.
Oh.
Because then you get a preconceived thing where it's like, oh, Farside everywhere. Nah, that's not what it is. Store for two is the magic number. So that's why he said lifestyle thing. So it's like, it's okay, and it's so great because right next door is where we do all of the Farside TV stuff. So it's like, it serves as two things. So it's pretty dope.
Okay. Do you have musical projects coming?
Yeah. If you didn't know, that's what we do. We make music, and just the way things are going, it's like when we started doing stuff, people put out records, and it was like a time of this time you put this out, you do that. Now it's just like, it's our lifestyle. So like we may be making music to go with a T-shirt that's gonna be in the store, or we might just be making a song for a movie, or we might just be making a song. So that's what we're doing all the time. But besides that, we're like going back and forth with ideas and concepts of how we're gonna work. I'm working with my man Tarak right now, and it's like, I mean, I guess I should have said, because I say you don't say things until you want them to take form and take shape into the universe, because the universe starts helping you out. So the operation is New Age Strange, and that's what's happening. And I got a 3-part thing going on. It's not gonna be like no big record release, nothing, but it's just to let you know, like my lifestyle, look a peek and to see what I have going on. I've been making music, making beats, and I just been creative, and people love that. I didn't really set out to be no record maker, producer type of dude. It just kind of grew into that. So now I'm like having fun with it, and I want people to like see what I've been doing. I was being selfish, keeping it to myself. And every time I play it, somebody's like, why don't you put it out? And I just was like, I don't know how to, like the procedure really, like now, because we don't have a record deal, and just the streaming thing, and you put it on SoundCloud, or you have a Bandcamp. So I've been doing little things like that. You can find me on Bandcamp, you can find me on Instagram, you can find me on SoundCloud, right? So I mean, there's music out there that people aren't familiar with. So if you want to like find stuff to catch up to the speed, he has an album. He put out an EP called Bird Talk. Well, it wasn't really an EP. It was like a mixtape. And I have this album called Black Dust. Like people be like, "What y'all doing?" Yeah, there's music out there. And when I start actually talking about it, it's like, damn, actually, it's a lot of music out there. So for the fans that's out there, you know, sometimes you gotta like search. Because where we came from, like, if you love something, you went and searched out for it. It wasn't just so readily available to you like it is. And sometimes when it's so readily available, you don't appreciate it as much. Like, so it's like, next, right? But if you got to go out there and, like, actually find it, right, you're going to, like, care about it more. So it's stuff out there. We'll give you a treasure map right now. It's Black Dust and it's Bird Talk. See if you can find it and bring it back to us. See if you can find any gems on there. And if not, you can go to the SoundCloud, you can go to the Bandcamp, and there's more music. Shout out to my man Tarak. Love Turo out there.
Great.
Space Boy Boogie X out there. Got a lot of family out there that's helping this Farside. It's part of the team.
Okay.
Like, we the face.
Yeah, sure.
Right? But it's a team.
Okay. What do you guys listen to now? Like I'm talking about the new music, the music going on right now, like on the radio and stuff. What do you like the most?
Brown like the new stuff. He always be like.
You do like the new stuff?
Brown like the new stuff. I like the stuff. I like anything, but he be like, he got an ear. He be like, I think this is before Kodak Black blew up. I think like everything. He be liking it before it blow up, and he'll be saying, I'm like, damn, you was fucking with Kodak before everybody was here. Rick Ross, he put me up on Rick Ross. He was like, tell you what, Rick Ross. So shit, we in the mix, dog. Yeah, we listen to everything. We ain't
I like to listen to new stuff because I think that, you know, it's kind of like, I tell people all the time, like, because somebody is like their first project, you gotta give it time to grow, and sometimes it's just like you can just see like what they're gonna become. Like when I heard like how you said Rick Ross' voice, I was like, his voice just sounds so dramatic, and I was just like man, he sounded like he could just tell a good story, and then like slowly down the line, like you could just hear like he was just telling these stories. It's just like if somebody was reading a book to me. So I think that, like, you know, it's just like you have certain people that know how to create a vibe, you know what I'm saying? Like they just know how to create certain things. So like I don't, you know, it's not everything I like. I mean,
yeah, not locked in on no one thing. It's just when it's hot and some hot stuff, we just roll with it. Like whatever's hot, no hate.
Yeah, I don't like everything that's old. You know what I'm saying? I don't like everything from the '90s.
Okay.
So it's just like.
So you're not stuck in the '90s, huh?
No way.
No, not so. Wait, like when you
Some
like,
people do.
Like what we listen to, or like. Nah, see, when we was in the '90s, we was in the 2000s. And 2000 came, we was in 2020, so it's like we just slow down the vibrations so we can like see what they doing. But I've been listening to Currency.
Yeah.
I like that. I've been listening to Currency. He be putting out a lot of
Black
stuff.
Milk, her Black Milk is her homie, so
okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He's made good.
Okay, nah, I be scanning, trying to find new music.
Okay.
Because I don't expect the masses to feed me. or the mass media. So I go look for my own stuff,
Okay.
and I find a lot of stuff like that. So then you feel like it's like, you know, there's two different worlds, right? There's the mass that everybody knows, and there's a whole nother world that's going on. And I think that's how we are. We got like a cult following, and I want to play to our following. Like, I'm not really tripping off of like trying to be like super, if that's not in the cards. But I really want to feed the people who like love us. They're important to me.
Yeah. Sure.
Right.
Okay. How do you see the music in 10 years?
These younger kids that are playing instruments are going to make, like, because trap music is basically like electronic. So I think like these kids that's listening to like trap music are going to incorporate live music with it. And so I don't know what it's gonna sound like, but it seems like that's where it's going, because like now I see like a lot of, like I said, you just see kids playing piano now. You see like kids playing trumpet. You see like yeah. So I think like these, once they grow up into their teens, like they're gonna create a new sound, and it's gonna be live music infused with electronic music, but it's just gonna be different. So that's what I see.
Okay.
Nothing new under the sun, man. Everything goes in cycles. So you said 10 years. That's about right. Everybody be so whacked out off of the electronic sound. Eventually they be like, you know what?
I think the rave scene will come back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Thank you for your time.